whoa, she looks guilty as hell. And then I'm looking at it and I'm saying, did you really say that? Mm-hmm. Did you really say that Caitlin Clark should think of Heavenly Stars, that she wouldn't be worth anything if she wasn't playing in the WNBA? Did you really say? See, all of these things that Nafisha Collier brought.
For 27 years, the WNBA was grinding for scraps of attention, fighting for TV slots, fighting for headlines, fighting just to be seen. Now let me ask you something wild. What happens when the league finally gets a generational superstar pulling in insane ratings, selling out arenas, and moving merch like crazy, and instead of protecting that golden goose, the league office starts acting funny? Yeah, that's where this gets spicy. Because according to Stephen A. Smith, there's real tension brewing at the top, and it's not about box scores anymore. This feels personal. This feels like power, ego, and control clashing behind closed doors. If what he's hinting at is true, we might be watching a self-sabotage play in real time. And the clip you're about to see, it adds serious fuel to that fire. Check this out.
First, because it's proxy season, right? No CEO, do you just put the base pay in there? You put their bonus, you put their stock options, you put everything. Caitlin has the ability to make up to $500,000 just in WNBA wages this year. So, of course, they're just looking at a base which is collectively bargained. And actually, it's low because she's the number one pick. She'll make a little more than that. But she also has millions and millions of dollars of endorsements. She's actually, because she declared to become pro, her endorsements are higher in dollar value. She has a global platform now, not just a U.S. platform. So she's going to do just fine, as will the top players in the league, as every league does. Also, there's comparisons to the men. Those men's leagues are 75 to 120 years old. We're tipping off our 28th season. I would say if you looked at them 28 seasons in, we're further ahead. But I realize we still have a lot of work to do. And it's all about the ecosystem.
That clip right there? Yeah, that's not just noise. That's a full-blown alarm bell going off. So now the real question is, has WNBA leadership completely lost the plot, or are we witnessing the most obvious self-sabotage play in modern sports? Go crazy in the comments because this is where it gets insane. Here's what actually went down. Reports started bubbling up about a new commercial centered around Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever star power. Sounds normal, right? Superstar gets spotlight, league wins, everybody eats. Wrong. Because apparently that ad didn't just make waves, it triggered a meltdown at the top. We're talking closed-door meetings, heated phone calls, and according to Stephen A. Smith, straight-up rage echoing through the league office. And if you think that's dramatic, wait till you hear what was allegedly said behind those doors. Roll the next clip. That clip was telling, wasn't it? Now take a breath and really think about how backwards this whole thing sounds. Your biggest, most marketable star lands a massive national commercial. Millions of eyeballs, casual fans tuning in, new sponsors sniffing around, and instead of celebrating like you just hit a game winner at the buzzer, you're fuming? Any competent league would be popping champagne, blasting it across social media, sending out press releases, and riding that hype train straight to the bank. That's how you build momentum. That's how you scale. But according to Stephen A. Smith, that's not what happened. He didn't just throw out a hot take for clicks, he doubled down. And remember, he's been one of Caitlin Clark's most vocal defenders all season. So when his tone shifts from hype to concern, you pay attention. He's not talking about missed calls or locker room beef anymore. He's pointing at something deeper, what he calls a culture problem at the top. The energy coming out of WNBA headquarters, allegedly, isn't pride. It's panic. It's insecurity. It's this uncomfortable reality that one player's brand might be eclipsing the league itself. And if that's true, that's not just awkward, that's dangerous. Because what you're about to hear next takes this from rumor territory into something way more serious. Watch this. Alright, that last clip. That's where the temperature really starts rising. So let's break down why this specific commercial had people upstairs allegedly spiraling. When Caitlin Clark steps into these high-budget spots, whether it's Wilson, Gatorade, or State Farm, she's not being marketed like just another talented rookie in the rotation. She's framed like a movement. Like a once-in-a-generation force. The cameras hit different. The lighting hits different. The storytelling hits different. She's not just representing a team, she looks like the face of an era. And here's the part that probably stings. In those ads, she doesn't feel like she belongs to the WNBA. She feels bigger than it. Bigger production. Bigger brand presence. Bigger cultural footprint. That's superstar energy. That's LeBron in 2007 type momentum. And when one player's aura starts eclipsing the shield on the jersey, that can make executives uncomfortable real quick. Because now the power dynamic shifts. The league isn't creating the star is carrying the league. And if that balance tips too far, it changes everything about control, negotiations, influence, all of it. But what happens when that tension starts leaking out publicly? The next clip takes this from uncomfortable to explosive. Roll it. That last clip. That's where this thing goes from messy to straight up combustible. Because for fans, all of this is electric. It's must-watch TV. It's logo threes, sold-out arenas, viral moments. But from the executive suite, that same spotlight can feel like a loss of control. Think about it. The league didn't storyboard those commercials. They didn't approve the creative. They didn't shape the narrative. When Caitlin Clark shows up in a polished national campaign looking like a global icon, it doesn't scream league system. It screams independent superstar. And when a player starts building her own economy, her own gravitational pull, that shifts leverage. Traditionally, leagues hold the power because players need the platform. But when your rookie is reportedly making more noise and more money off the court than on it, that dynamic flips. And power shifts make people uncomfortable. Now layer this on top. All season long, the messaging has been it's about the collective, it's about the shield, it's about the league. Then boom, a 30-second commercial drops and the entire internet is reminded who's driving the conversation. That contrast hits hard. Especially when premium brand campaigns look slick and global, while the league's own marketing can feel slower. That gap. It fuels criticism. And critics like Stephen A. Smith aren't holding back. He's basically saying the frustration isn't about one ad, it's about what that ad represents. Exposure, influence, and questions about whether leadership is maximizing this moment or resisting it. Then there's the money conversation. Casual fans see million-dollar campaigns and then see a reported rookie base salary that doesn't match the hype. That creates tough optics. It sparks debate about revenue models, growth strategy, and whether the league is capitalizing fast enough on this surge of attention. In other leagues, NBA, NFL, when a star lands a massive endorsement, it's treated like a rising tide that lifts the whole ship. So when there's silence instead of celebration, people notice. And here's where it gets even more intense. If the tone from the top feels cold, fans start connecting dots. They look at hard fouls. They look at physical play. They look at disciplinary decisions. Fair or not, narratives form. People start asking whether cultural momentum is being protected or tested. That's the dangerous zone. Because once fans believe it's league versus superstar, you've got a full-blown perception battle on your hands. At the end of the day, this isn't just about one commercial. It's about control versus momentum. Old structure versus new energy. Collective branding versus individual stardom. And whether leadership adapts to a rocket ship moment or fights it. Because what happens next will define this era of the WNBA.